All right. That'll be good. How you doing, George?
I made it.
You made it?
Always love when I make it.
Yeah. Hey, man, after the week I've had, like, that's really all I could ask for. We actually got here. We're good. Everybody's alive. Good Lord. We are here. We are good, though. And we won't be cut off 30 minutes early by The Rock, so that's good.
We don't know that for sure.
I just said, that's a good point. No, that's the funniest thing. Like I was out last night for my mom's birthday and I came home and turned on and look at my phone and I'm like, what is this? What has happened? It's fun to kind of get back and find that out later.
So before Phil gets in, which should be shortly, there he is.
Right.
Nice. Programming note. Next week will be early. Stay tuned for the time. And next week there'll be no guests, so it'll be a chat-orientated show. So you guys will be able to run the program, so to speak.
Yeah, no, we'll come on probably like before because it's double or nothing. And even though it's in my area, I'm not going. There's nothing on that card that makes me want to go.
I wanted to be fair to the person I had scheduled, so I moved him. So
this is what George does. This is what he does. All right, I invited Phil to speak and co-host so he can jump in when he's ready. But I completely forgot the Double or Nothing was this upcoming weekend, and then it's literally in my area.
Saturday Night Live main event is
Saturday night's main event. Yep.
I call it Saturday Night Live main event. Sorry.
All right. Cool. No, you're good. You're good.
And then Monday or Double or Nothing is Sunday, so that'd be interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be a hell of a weekend. What's up, Phil? You're muted, but you're ready. You're in the speaker if you're ready to go. Yeah, no, that's that should be really fun. It should be a really fun Saturday night's main event.
They got a lot of the card already set up. Most of it, don't they?
I think so, because they usually only do 4 matches at those, right? Or is it 5? They
Sometimes
might be able to pull off 5. Yeah. But I feel like, because you've already got Jay and Logan. You've got the tag match with Punk and Sammy and the Dangerous Alliance 2.0. And then
Cena
and R-Truth. So, they'll probably sneak in a women's title match, maybe? I don't know.
We don't know. Oh, Phil's gone.
No, he's right there. Oh, no, he left. All right.
There he's back again.
Technical difficulties. Botchcast, very good. Although what's cool is once you invite somebody in as the speaker, they stay in. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
There he is.
I learned that when you dropped out and went back in that time. Hey, what's up, Phil? How you doing, buddy?
Good, man. Sorry, my headphones were messed up. It was like making a weird fuzzy sound, and I couldn't hear what you guys were saying. Really.
Oh, good, buddy. I totally understand. How you doing, my friend?
Good. How are you guys doing?
We are good. We are
tremendous. I'm watching the Leafs game in the background.
That's good, man. Game 7, right?
Yes, sir. Are you stoked for your series against Dallas?
Of course, dude.
Yeah.
We're gonna win that thing, man.
Dude, I'm not an Edmonton fan, but I became an Edmonton fan because of you. So yeah. Hey.
It's hard not to root for your friends.
Their games are the funnest for sure.
No doubt. I stay up late. I have to work in the mornings at 7. So, but I'm up watching those games, and I'm like, these are good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, with the playoffs, it's one of those things you just got to do it. Yeah, I get you.
Hockey playoffs are like no other playoffs anywhere, just for the record.
Yeah, they're the best, truly.
Okay, I had a question to start, Phil, so I'm just going to get right to it if you don't mind.
Perfect. Love it.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Okay, so PWT recently just celebrated its 2-year anniversary, correct?
Yeah, not too
2
long.
years, that's it.
Yeah.
So you guys, you're quite an anomaly in the YouTube world when it comes to time production here, so to speak.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind, can you kind of take us through maybe what the original plan was for PWT, and when are you realizing that you're becoming very popular, and how plans are changing, and how we get to kind of where we are today, where now it's your full-time job?
Well, that's a great question. And I wouldn't necessarily say it's even like just my full-time job. I do a lot of other shit on the side. I write, I video edit. I just pick up gigs here and there. I do gig work, independent contract work where I can. But yeah, I do put like full-time energy, effort, and hours into, you know, building and growing PWT. So how did it start? Basically, I just started, you know, I would be sending voice notes back and forth with my buddy, and it was like, why don't we just record it? And we actually had a pro wrestling podcast like a decade prior, but we did like 4 episodes and didn't know what the fuck we were doing, didn't know anything about broadcasting or RSS feeds or anything like that. And so, that just sort of, just went away. It was like a big deal. We just like got rid of it, scrapped it. And then, yeah, so the audio, like basically when it comes to YouTube, like I had like a gaming channel that I nuked, like once I started doing Pro Wrestle Times. Like I had other YouTube channels and stuff, and, one of the things I do or have done professionally is worked with big YouTube channels. I'm not going to stooge which ones, but there's some with like 8.5 million subscribers and stuff. And I would like help them get their videos like in the algorithm, make sure I like optimize their channels and things like that. Like I just understand. I grew up
Right.
with YouTube and things like that. So I was like, okay, I'm going to drop audio clips of the podcast on YouTube because there's like the whole Clipper thing, like everybody has a Clips channel and stuff. And it was like, hey, I'm going to make this Clips channel, which is like our main to promote the podcast. It's like the main channel. There's clips from our show and other little funny edits. When I have time, I'm going to upload them here. And then, and so, yeah, I just basically started clipping the show. It got popular on YouTube. And then I got really into like responding to every comment and talking to the community and on posts and
Yep.
stuff like that. And then I realized like, okay, let me try, like, I should do a live show. I'm monetized and shit. I keep getting emails from YouTube about, hey, you should get members and stuff like that. You should add members, like memberships. And I'm like, okay, so what do I offer? Well, let me do a live show. Why don't I do a live version of PWT podcast? But it's like different where I go and I react like to what's going on Twitter drama because I'm a fan of YouTube channels where people are reacting to Twitter drama and shit like that, or they're just
Right.
like pulling articles off X and then going to this site and then showing you this and then reacting to this clip. I'm a fan of shows like that. So I was like, I could do that in pro wrestling though. Like nobody's doing that. And so, yeah, it just sort of spurned into I go live. My audience grows every week, was growing every week. I'm like, holy shit, I have like a live audience now. That's hard to build. And I didn't realize that first. I'm like pretty quick. I had like a couple hundred people watching me. I didn't
Yeah.
realize like there's people with way more subs than me that fucking get like way less live viewers than I do. I didn't realize how actually good I was killing it at live at first. And then once I realized, I was like, okay, I think the live is my main thing I got to do. And the podcasts almost need to be like specials almost in a way. And, yeah, pretty much it blew up on YouTube by accident, although I was like a YouTuber, in a way. I had other channels. I've worked on like other big channels. Like I've edited videos for channels I guarantee like lots of people watched if you're into like comic books and stuff. I've done work for like, yeah, you guys know I have a channel called at Film
Yeah.
on YouTube where I talk about like comic books and movies and shit. So yeah, I've worked in that space. I've been a writer. I've written like hundreds of scripts. I've never had anything like made on Netflix or anything. One day, that's a goal of mine.
Someday. Yeah.
I've never
Hell
been
yeah.
published. Yeah, I've like written a comic book and never got it published. I've written other stuff. I've ghost written things, stuff like that. So, but yeah, YouTube is always something I was passionate about, but it was also like work, like it was my job. So I didn't like fucking for other people. So I didn't like really fully figure out. I wasn't like, yeah, I'm going to go do YouTube, but like I always knew if I did do YouTube, pro wrestling was going to be the main thing that like if I did it seriously, I had a gaming channel before that wasn't serious. I just upload like shorts and little funny clips and shit. Um, but like I knew like, okay, if I'm really going to get my personality out there, like, cause YouTube's all about finding a niche and then fucking running with it, like
Right.
everything's a niche
Yeah.
these days. Like you'll find artists out there or like YouTube channels that have 1 million fucking subscribers and you've never heard of them. And you're like, what? There's 1 million people who watch this and it's because everything's a niche. And so I always knew my niche would ultimately be pro wrestling, but I honestly didn't, I sort of stumbled into it oddly enough,
And you got all your wrestling background from your grandfather, am I right?
Well, yeah, I
Or
mean,
father?
I
don't
grew up
remember.
watching it, but I was fortunate enough where that's a great question. My grandfather, like, he taped everything. I'm talking like you go to
Yeah.
his house, he had notebooks, where he had everything cataloged. So like it would be, let's say you look in the catalog and it says number 164. So that means tape 164, and
Oh my gosh.
there'd be a list on it like Baby's Day Out, Home Alone 1, Home Alone 2, and that's what he had record. You know what I mean? Like he would record
Yeah.
everything and he cataloged it. And you'd go into his room. My grandmother had like an Elvis Presley shrine where she was obsessed with Elvis, and then and then on the other side of that shrine room was like a library, like a tape library. And one of the things he taped more than anything was pro wrestling. So I was fortunate enough to where I was watching every week, but also, yeah, my grandfather was showing me all the shit I had just missed by a hair, like the Hulk Hogan era, and
Right.
just he had everything taped. So I was so fortunate I could go back and watch like the whole year's worth of Raw or whatever
That's amazing.
yeah, it was amazing. So I did grow up very fortunate in that regard to where I was watching MMA and pro wrestling like very, very early on and watching stuff that I don't know if other people had access to, luckily.
You were binge watching before binge watching was cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, for real, I spent a lot of time.
Yeah.
Like, it was tough. Like, how I grew up was
That's
really,
awesome.
really rough, and so my grandparents a lot of the time like sprung in and helped. You know what I mean? And my
Yeah.
grandparents, I was really fucking close with them. So,
Me too.
yeah, so me and my grandpa watching wrestling tapes and just movies in general is like my fondest memory as a kid for sure.
Do those tapes still exist?
Um, they do probably somewhere, but I mean,
Yeah.
when
Yeah,
they
hell of a
pass,
catalog
I
to
mean,
find.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a whole, there's all family stuff, whatever, that I'm not going to get into
Yeah.
bullshit and bum every
Yeah.
show, but, they do exist somewhere, I'm sure, stored away, yeah.
So what's funny is my grandmother had a shrine too, but it was to Frank Sinatra. Saying that's right, that tracks. I'm about 10 years older than you, so that tracks. So my grandma, one of her areas in one of the side rooms was a shrine to Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
I had thought about that forever.
Yeah, she was a Rat Pack gal too, my grandma, but
That's awesome.
Elvis was like, she had every Elvis movie. Now that was the thing too, you guys would think, oh, they taped everything, so they didn't buy movies and shit. Wrong, man. They had a fucking,
Oh, right, for sure.
they had every Elvis movie. Certain ones though, if it was something they liked, then they went out of their way to fucking buy it, which I was lucky enough to inherit a bunch of that. But the actual like tape
Nice.
library, yeah. So that's like, I don't know. I didn't get my hands on any of that, unfortunately, but one day I will.
Cool.
No, it's funny that you mentioned the like connecting with the audience in the comments and stuff, because I feel that was the first way I connected with you, because I remember somehow you came across one of my feeds early on, because it was definitely early in your process, because I commented on the thing, and you commented back to me, and we interacted, and we talked a little constructive criticism, and it was just a good little interaction. And that's one of the things that got me to be a fan of your show from the beginning. And that's something that I try to do with our show where I can, where if somebody leaves a comment, good, bad, indifferent, I'm ready to interact with folks, because it's a big community. So it's really a real cool community that you've built for everybody.
Yeah, nice. Thank you, man. Yeah, I get complimented on the chat and the community a lot, and that's what I'm trying to do is just like, I just want people who don't take themselves too seriously, who
Yeah.
understand, like, okay, my headset's fucking up again. I don't know. Can you guys hear that?
You sound fine. There's like a little background noise, but I'm used to that with the kind of spaces and stuff. And I've got my headset on, so you sound fine to us, though. For me, at
Okay.
least.
One of my
Yeah.
headphones fucking glitching out. I hope works fine for you guys. But yeah, I don't know. Just I get complimented on the community in the chat a lot, and I just want people who can just take jokes, can laugh about wrestling, and are cool with like, I don't give a shit if you love AEW. Clearly, I do too, because I fucking yell about it every day, and I watch it every week, and I fucking have an Orange Cassidy t-shirt, and I wear Okada t-shirts, and I'm a fan of this shit. Like, I'm sorry that I want it to last a very long time, and you don't like my way of going about fucking criticizing this shit, but you don't get, like, I don't care, Sicko, you don't get to run how everyone else thinks, right? So I just want people who understand that, like, we can disagree, we can be cool, and like constructive criticism is really key too, especially when you're first building a
Yeah.
channel. And like one of the things is like if you have a YouTube, like, okay, anyone will just talk shit on Twitter. People will block you, but like screen grab your account and then fucking talk shit every day, right? And like Reddit, there's a lot of people who are kooky. And there's a lot of kooky people everywhere. You guys can still hear me fine, right?
Yep.
Okay, good. But like on YouTube, though, for a lot of it, it's people who like seek out that type of content or seek you out and then spend the time to actually like go onto a video. And so those are people you really want to interact with. And yeah, early on, I was all about like, I have to respond to every single comment, whether they're telling me to delete my life or they're telling me that they love what I'm doing. I need to respond to each and every listener or viewer. I also don't like the word fan. I don't like it to be like, oh, you guys are
Yeah.
my fans. I don't like that. I don't care if other people say it. I don't like, I'm not like getting triggered by how other people, but to me, it's like your viewers, your listeners,
The
like
audience.
your wrestling fans. Yeah, you're my audience. That's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah,
so I don't.
when I first started listening to PWT, I didn't like you at all.
That's
I'm like
awesome.
I didn't like AEW. I started liking AEW a little bit, then I didn't like it. And I listened to you, and I'm like, man, this guy loves AEW. I just don't see it. And then but you were always fair though. I could always see that. And I'm like, I think I DM'd you once. So I'm like, dude, I don't pay for content, but I'm going to pay for your shit because I like what you're talking about. And then I slowly picked up what you're actually saying, and not just being cornered into stuck in a corner there. And I liked where you were heading, and I'm like, okay, he makes some sense because you're very fair, if nothing else, and you always put over AEW, and you always get bummed out in the end, but it's fine.
Yeah,
You always want to give them that chance.
yeah. Well, yeah, thank you for that. I guess, I just try to be fair. Like, you see so many people who it's clearly like you're fucking grifting or you don't even have like an opinion that's like valid because you don't even understand what the fuck you're watching if you don't. I don't know. I'm not like one of these snobs. You have to know the history of pro wrestling and all this shit, but it's like if you're gonna act like one, then
Right.
like fuck you. And so I don't like to act like that. It's just like, okay, you have to understand that just because you don't like something doesn't mean other people don't like it. But it doesn't mean I'm not allowed to critique that shit with my thoughts or add historical context where I can. I don't know. I'm no Jim Cornette, but like, I don't know. I like to think I have a good
You do good.
understanding of how
Yeah.
wrestling's supposed to be. So, yeah, that's all. I try to give everybody their due, and I'm not one of these guys either. Like a lot of people talk shit to wrestlers and are like, "You're a puss, you're a bitch, man," and stuff like that. I don't do shit like that either because it's like that's disrespectful. Like ultimately, at the end of the day, I mean, like, yeah, I'm going to voice my opinion. I'm sure some people don't like it, but at the end of the day, it's human beings, and they are entertaining everyone and they are putting their lives on the line and shit like that, right? So I get it. I get where their egos and people can become overly sensitive and people can become defensive over like the thing they like. People get
Yeah.
defensive over Marvel movies or DC movies or whatever. I understand that fully, fully, fully. And that's why I try to be fair because it'd be much easier for me to just go, fuck AEW, man. I want it, fuck it, destroy it. I'd probably have more followers if I did that. If I was like, no, I'm just WWE through and through, injected in my veins. Fuck A-Wubs, like to the death, or vice versa. I might have just used that comparison twice because that's how I'm feeling lately. But you guys know what I mean, right? It's like
Yeah, no,
I
100%.
went one way or the other. So I just try to shoot fair, but I also don't care if people like I don't know. I don't care if people don't want to cover their shit fairly either. It's not up for other people to tell people what to do or how to think, but everybody's allowed to be critical of everybody, and people like consuming people being critical of stuff. So, yeah, I just that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Nobody like
But
people
there's
use
that point though.
Ebert and Roper too for fucking
Yeah.
criticizing movies. It is what it is. You guys want to call it cinema? Okay, I'm fucking Ebert and Roper in this bitch, and I get the thumbs up or thumbs down. I don't give it stars, Brian, but I'm allowed to do that, and you guys are allowed to get mad, whatever. But I try to approach it fairly. Because listen, man, I am a pro wrestling fan, and I was an advocate for AEW. Here's the other thing, like that shit could have been cool, man. The Bucks and Kenny and all that shit could have been really cool if they presented it properly, but they fucking didn't in the long run. Like after 2 years of like, okay, if you don't reel it in, it's gonna start fucking up, and then it starts fucking up, and then out of the pandemic, they completely shit the bed coming out of the pandemic, and it just hasn't fully recovered. And then all the punk stuff and everything. And it's like, I'm trying, dude. Like, how much more? You got all the punk fans to come over, and then you guys fucking kick them out of the company. What do you think is going to happen? Like, there's a whole bunch of people who aren't even WWE or AEW fans. They're just CM fucking Punk fans. And you
Yep.
all those people back. And fucking, you just fumbled them all. Like, it's not my fault. I don't hate AEW because I point that out. And you're a fucking retard who can't. Sorry, I gotta stop saying that shit. But you're fucking dumb. You can't like handle your emotional connection to. You wanted this thing to beat the Fed because Vince McMahon, who's fucking gone and is non-existent in the wrestling world. You know, like I'm so sorry. That doesn't make me a hater. Whatever. And I appreciate you saying I'm fair because a lot of people don't think I am. They either just label me as an e-drone or they think I fucking hate WWE as well because I've been critical.
Now, if you sit down and actually listen to what you're saying, like I
Right.
did, you sit down and listen and take it in, you're totally fair. And that's why I became a member and stuff like that.
That's why I remember when I first heard the clips, I wasn't quite sure because I would agree with certain things but not hear everything. But when you listen to the episodes in full, I was like, oh no, me and this guy are very similar on things. And then if we did disagree on things or it was, something where I had a different opinion or something, the way you presented it's like, well, that's a fair way of thinking of things. It's not like you're just like, this is the only way to do it. There's nothing else right, my way, or you're an idiot.
You can't
and then block people.
I bring Awful on the show, Awful Wrestling. No,
He's been on this show.
I don't think anybody challenges Awful more than me, or I don't think anybody challenges me more than Awful. And
right.
And so when I have him on the show and people go, why did you have this guy on the show? He fucking hates AEW. He wants it to die. Because isn't that the interesting perspective to have? 80 billion of you idiots on here because you're all bots. That's the thing. I swear to God, there's like more Sickos BOTS than there are people who even watch AEW. But
it's very true.
It's like you motherfuckers like all think the same thing. Why wouldn't you want to hear a different way of thinking or a different attitude towards something? And it's called compelling programming. Like we're doing a radio show here. You guys want to sit around and hear everyone go, yep, yep. Oh no, that's right. Yep, yep, Okay, then
let's kick to the hill.
There's 400 other fucking shows that do that.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to be the one that does that. Sorry. You know what I mean? I'm just not going to be the one that does that. Not going to be the one that bites my tongue. But I'm going to be fair. I'm not going to be gross and shitty about things. But, it just is what it is, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Without getting too specific, I know you had somebody working with you for a while. What made you guys decide to go your separate ways and you decide to take the ball by yourself and run with it? Because you're I went back and listened to the beta episode that you had, and it's a total difference.
Yeah.
With two people. And by yourself. I've even told you behind the scenes. I've told you many times that you're much better by yourself.
Yeah, right. Well, that was just it. It was sort of like when I started PWT, it was like me not realizing that, I should have just been doing this alone from the start. And I should have just brought my buddy in to just do episodes with me and stuff like that. And so basically what happened was, and shout Hairline out, man. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
I wish no ill will against him. He's probably out touring music right now or something, and that was just it. It became, we're just moving in different paths. That's all it was. It was nothing too terrible. And I was like, dude, why don't you do a show on the road and send it in? And he was real against that. And it was just, I don't know. We just had different visions of what this was going to be. And like PWT was, before I ever started a show, just so everyone knows, like I was on Twitter as Pro Wrestle Times tweeting about shit. You know what I mean? Like in the IWC for a while, like talking shit, trolling here and just giving my thoughts on wrestling shows and stuff like that. And then I launched a show And in fact, before I was even active, like if you look at the year my account was activated for Pro Wrestle Times, and then you go back, like if you go to the beginning, like I don't even think I tweeted on the account till maybe even like a year or two after I created the account, because I had just thought of the name one day, Pro Wrestle Times. Oh, I need to get that handle. You know, so I
Right. No, yeah, lock that down.
yeah, like so you got to do that, right? You think of a good domain, or you think of like a handle, and I don't know. Like I told you guys before, I grew up like with the internet, so it was like I was always on that shit, you know? So, oh, I need to own that name. I need to go get Pro Wrestle Times. No one has that. Oh, look, they don't own it anywhere, not on Instagram. I'm the first. I need that. So,
I get you.
yeah, it was, I made a logo for it. It was nothing, you know, it was nothing. I didn't know if it was going to be a pod, if it was going to be me making posts, like one of those accounts, like on this day. And I didn't know what it was going to be.
Right.
And then I sort of just figured it out as it went. And, but yeah, thank you. I do think I'm much stronger solo. I like doing my show solo too, because then I don't drag anybody into my shit. You know, like if I say something that then nobody gets any on them. You know what I'm saying? Like, not that I'm just controversial. I'm gonna get canceled. You guys know. Everybody knows.
As somebody who's been pre-blocked by people from that, most likely, I don't mind. That's fine.
So it's like, you guys gotta understand, like any post you guys see, I promise you, I get asked this every day. Yo, Dave's got you blocked. Yo, these guys, why do they have you blocked? Yo, why do they turn the comments off whenever I have to post a screen grab or something? It's because I'm blocked by everybody. I'm pre-blocked by everybody. Any sicko where you're like, that's a crazy sicko, they have me blocked already. I promise you, you know? I don't know why. I don't know
That's
when
amazing.
I don't know if it's when Auntie Wrestling or whatever made that list and fucking.
Oh, I forgot about that list.
You just made the list. Yeah, I was on the second draft of that one, so
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's
they
good.
all just community, but it's weird because I even saw Neckbeards pointing out like these fucking tweets that were coming out from Sickos the other day. They're verbatim, word for word again. This happens all the time, and it's like, are they getting mass memos? You know, do they all have 8 fucking burners? I don't understand. I don't get it. But yeah, I'm pre-blocked by all these motherfuckers. So when it comes to my show too, like I like going solo because if I say some shit, it's on me. You know what I mean? Or
Right.
like sometimes I have a strong opinion about WWE. Like lately, I've been going hard on WWE. No one wants to talk about that though. No sickos want to talk about that.
Of course not. Doesn't fit the narrative.
Yeah. So, you know, I don't want to like maybe I criticize something in a way that someone might not agree with. And then instead of taking 30 minutes up of my show, fucking hashing that out, when it's something menial, you know, it's like, no, it's just on me. Or if someone gets offended
For sure.
by some shit I say on my show, that's on me. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's kind of why I like to do it that way as well. And I can just rant and rave. Like I don't know. My mind goes really minute. You guys can tell. Yeah. And I can just go off, do my thing. And,
no, I always respect the hell out of it because that's something where like, that's one of the reasons why George and I do so well is because we can play off each other. Like I don't think I could do what you do and just go and go and go. It's awesome. It's great to just tune in and listen. That's one of the reasons I've been a fan of yours for as long as I have been.
I can say one thing. As a mod in the chat is very, you gotta do a lot to get booted from there. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
We let a lot of stuff go that you want it to go. You told me let it go.
Yeah.
Jacko, yeah.
So you gotta
you
gotta be pretty harsh to get booted from there.
Yeah. Usually people to boot themselves because people just make fun of them and like, because it's like Phil said, it's a good community of people who kind of get it. Like we don't take any of it too seriously. We're here to have fun. Like let's have a good time with it. We'll crack some jokes. We can crack jokes on each other. I'll be the first person to crack a joke on myself. Like I have no problem with it.
Fucking chat's like shittier to me than anybody else. So I get roasted hard too, but no, chat's important. You got to let people come and say what they want. Now I have and you can't come in there and spam like the N word and get my account fucking nuked or whatever, obviously. But,
right.
Yeah, you got to let people make jokes and just say what they're going to say. And it's just I don't know. A lot of people like to pretend that like they don't exist on the internet or they're all these perfect people and you don't think something is funny when you know deep down it is. Like, I don't know. I don't live in that world, man. I'm like, we got to have fun.
It's cool.
Yeah.